Good morning, everybody out there in Videoland. I am saying good morning because it's just before noon. We're getting about a 2-minute start. Gary Wilkins, you said I owe you a minute. Well, here's your minute. Here's your minute, believe it or not. Here we go. And we got everything, all systems go. Dave, give us a hello.
Hello there. Hi, Videoland. Hi.
That's good. I'm just testing the microphone, to be honest with you. But, of course, you know who this gentleman is, Dave Wheeler.
Hello.
He comes in for our City Council Agenda Review. I'm Paul K. Lemire. This is Your City, Your Voice, coming to you from 4680Q Radio, downtown Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada, across from the Meteor Crater. And I'm going to tell you, I saw some surveyors in there a couple weeks ago.
Did they get lost?
I don't know. They probably sunk in the quicksand, and I never saw them again. They were there, and I blinked, and they were gone.
Yeah, I think so. I think if we start digging, we might find them.
Anyway, before we get to the show, we got to get going here, only because there's a pretty healthy agenda today, and we want to discuss a couple of things. So we'll get going on the show real quick on this manic Monday, City Council Agenda Review Day. I got who say we got to get to my sponsors first, and you look at the weather. If you haven't summarized your car, springerized, summarized, got it ready for summer, you're making a big mistake. Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop. You want to go down there and you want to talk to Ken Hunter. He's going to check your car over from top to bottom, make sure everything's hunky-dory. He's going to fix anything that's got a problem, and you're not going to break down in the middle of the summer when you're headed to Muskoka. So you go see him. Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop.
You got to climate change it.
You got to climate change it. That's right. And he's going to do that for you. He does it all. He'll take care of your brakes, make sure everything's safe. He'll do the whole shot for you on Oakwood Drive next to the Kia dealership. And if you get in a wreck, well, you have no problem. He's got a full body shop. He's going to fix your car and send it out to you in showroom condition. Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Oakwood Drive. Come on, go see Ken. Be smart. Be proactive. Make sure your car is running tip-top. And while you're at wildbillsauto.ca making your appointment, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. It costs nothing to subscribe. You'll be able to add comments. You'll watch the show. You get notifications on it. Come on, help us with the algorithm. We're over 130 viewers now. Subscribers, we need more. Some of you watch, but you don't subscribe. Come on, it takes 2 seconds. It's well worth your while. And don't forget, we're on Rumble, and we are on X now. So if you aren't watching YouTube, hey, watch us on Rumble and X. We're on there as well. Okay, Davey boy. Let's have the usual pre-meeting ceremonies. They have all these ceremonies before. We have a recording of the A.N. Meyer Music Group, your alma mater.
Indeed. I remember doing the Kiwanis. As a matter of fact, this month, May 1969, I was performing twice at the Kiwanis Music Festival for A.N. Meyer. I was in the grade 9 band and the concert band.
You found your first real 6-string in the summer of 69. Hey.
Well, it was more like a baritone saxophone.
Doing the honors for the Singing of O Canada, the A.M. Music Group. Congratulations to them. It's going to be on tape. It won't be live. And then we move on to the agenda. But before that, I want to give a shout out to somebody you know well, maybe better than I do. But I do know her. She's been in the studio here many times. Ran for the Green Party, I want to say. Almost
did. She started to, but then switched, turned it over to another candidate because of personal reasons.
Okay. And her name is Karen Fraser, and she's being named Senior of the Year and being presented with the honor in City Council chambers. Dave?
Well, Karen used to be a bit of a Wonder Woman. She could be named that because the kind of volunteer work she does is just it's too long and lengthy to even mention. And she's been out there, and normally with a person like that, it goes under the radar, but I'm glad that she's getting some recognition now, and she's becoming the Senior of the Year. She's getting an award for that. And I don't think anybody else could really defeat her in that situation.
Well, you know, I know Karen, and she's so nice. She really, really is a nice lady. You know, she's just a very nice person, and I couldn't be happier to see Karen Fraser get it. Seriously, she does a lot in the city in that, and I don't know how she does it.
If there's a money award, Karen's my new best friend.
Yeah.
If the money comes with it. Yeah. We can go out, Karen.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
dinner.
it wouldn't hurt for her to come down and spend some of the money if she gets a money award on wings and pizza for us, right?
Right here, we'll have you as a guest.
There you go. Anything
just
for
you
pizza.
bring the wings.
Anything for pizza and wings.
Yeah.
Anyway, congratulations, Karen. You deserve it. I couldn't think of a better person to get this award. And yeah, she's just a nice lady. If you know Karen, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
Congratulations, Karen. Well deserved.
Okay, we're going to move through the agenda here. I didn't see anything, Dave, unless you have anything before 7.5. And it's a noise complaint on 3710 Cynics.
Well, I do. Just the mayor pointed out a runner of sorts earlier on that he's Christian Jameson.
Mm-hmm.
He's the champion of the Niagara Ultra Marathon. I think that should bring some note to him because he is now qualified. He's raced well enough to qualify for both the Boston and Chicago Marathon.
Oh, so wow. Good for him.
Yeah.
Way to go, Christian.
Yeah. So I thought that should be mentioned.
I actually qualified this year for the Meteor Crater Marathon.
Oh,
you walk to those things down there and back.
Oh, okay.
That's my marathon right there. If I can do that, I'm happy.
I think if you gave me 24 hours, I might be able to do it.
Well, it's not just, hey, listen, this isn't just the going back and forth. This is navigating the Meteor Crater. And I'm telling you, that's tough terrain in there.
Might find a few surveyors in there.
I might lose a foot if I had a foot. How did that what do you call that, degenerate or whatever how did that
yeah, I don't know how that happened.
Anyway, noise at the Titan Sportsplex on Cynics Avenue, unless you have something else.
No, I saw that as well.
Yeah. And that's the soccer dome on Cynics. And when they put that up in the first place, I didn't get putting this big dome in the middle of a neighborhood. That's basically what it is, backing onto industrial land. And now I guess they're having parties in there. I don't know who owns it, but there's parties in there till the wee hours of the morning. They're making noise, playing music, and the neighbors, and I don't blame them, have had enough. So they want them to close at 11, just like any other sports facility in the city, and quit with the noise. I don't know how that's going to go, but I get it. I mean, you're in a neighborhood with this big dome, and you have, I don't know how many people in there whooping it up out in the parking lots and stuff, so.
I can attest to that because I go for late night walks often, and I pass by there, and it is people hooting and hollering, and you think they're coming out of a bar. And I'm wondering if they've got in their cars, they get cases of beer because they certainly just don't sound to be enthusiastic athletes. They seem to be the type to tip the glass or two after the sport, Yeah,
they're the guys like usually in an arena after your pickup hockey game or whatever, your beer league. That's why they're called beer leagues, right? People drink all the time. And there's no space in there to do that maybe, so they go in the parking lot and whoop it up. I wouldn't doubt it at all. It sounds like something I would do.
As I said, I walked by there and I thought, am I walking by a bar?
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I see how, and the one time I went by, I said, oh, somebody must have won some kind of championship or something. But the second time I walked by it, and I think, oh no, it's just something that happens.
Yeah, somebody just cracked open a 2-4.
That's it.
But anyway, we'll see what comes of that. I mean, I really think they should put some limits on this. There was a letter from a resident in there, and they weren't very happy at all. So we'll see what city council does. I'm thinking they'll put the limit on it and stop this nonsense. But hey, that's only my opinion. I know what I would vote for. And I was young once and had a good time like that. So I get it. But still, respect.
It's a little bit different going out in the parking lot of Stanford, Stanford Arena and having a few where almost nobody can hear you.
Yeah.
And this is right in the middle of the town, right in the middle of a residential area.
Yep, exactly.
And you know what? I'm completely against this going on because twice I walked by and not once did they invite me over.
Well, that's even worse.
There you go.
That's even worse. At least they could invite you for a sody pop.
I'll be walking by there late tonight, so there you get your chance to get my vote for you.
Okay, we're going to move on to planning then, because these are always the good ones. Item 8.1, 38 stacked townhouse units built on Stanley Avenue out past the Stanford Halfway. And if you make that left on the Stanley Avenue at the Stanford Halfway, if nobody knows where that is, that's the corner of Portage Road and Stanley Avenue, way out on the north end of the city. And
Start heading north.
yeah, and it's all being built up out there now anyway. And I don't find it a great place to live myself with truck traffic, but people have to live somewhere. It's going to add 18 dwelling units to the 38 intended to be attainable to low-income households. Check mark.
Check mark. Yes, yep. Indeed.
Check mark for us, Davey boy?
Yes, that's what we're looking for.
Yep. In accordance with the city's housing strategy, that's nice. It has to be rezoned from single family to residential apartment, 5D density. There are several reductions which they need to make it work. It has been approved by planning, and I think council will go along with the planners. One letter from a resident objected to building on many levels, including density and parking. And that's kind of normal for any new build in any neighborhood. So I don't anticipate these problems. If the planners have approved it, it's probably going to go through, and that'll be that. What do you think, Dave?
I don't think it's the nicest area. Myself, there's industrial and truck and all that others, but the one resident did complain that people have bought out there as a low residential area where it's not exactly country, but it's spacious. Now, you got the reservoir right behind you, which would kind of make me think, there's a breach in that, I don't know about that, but
great fishing if you can get in there and not get arrested.
Yeah. So, yeah, aside from that, I think probably it's a good place. And I don't think it would get turned down because there is this push for higher density housing and the fact that it is affordable.
Yes.
And who doesn't like affordable housing, especially when it's farther out of town? I think that's probably everyone's thinking, it's not in my neighborhood, the way the NIMBY idea is here. But that would be a good place for it because it is spacious and they can make park areas for the children and things like that there. And you just have to be very careful with the truck traffic and stuff like that for the residents. Aside from that, I think it's a good place to intensify housing.
And it kind of meets with that attainable housing thing that we always talk about. Because the first question anybody asks is there affordable housing in there or attainable housing, whatever you want to call it? And yes, there is. And that's something you don't see with a lot of places. They kind of want to get around that because, they want to make the maximum profit they can. And there's not a lot of profit in lower rents. Especially profit today. Yeah.
Less profit.
Yeah, less profit. So that's good. We moved to 8.2, 8055 McLeod Road.
Again, we have something that's what we like to see.
Mm-hmm.
This is Niagara Falls nonprofit housing.
And I think this was at council before.
Yes, it was.
Yes, they were. I was okay. There you go. They were trying to get the okay. They weren't sure how many they were going to build. They wanted to get it so they could make it 10 stories. And they are going to build a 10-story building, 112 units, nonprofit housing which manages affordable housing for individuals and families with low to moderate incomes across the city. And heaven knows we need that.
Yes, we do. This is a town that has sort of fallen behind. The standard of living has fallen behind here, and we are left with a lot of residents that find themselves without housing, particularly when our area became very attractive to the greater Toronto area. Hogtown sent all its people down here to buy up the houses and push the prices up. What happened to our own people? We don't have places for them. So this is a very good turn of events here. And hats off to Niagara Falls Nonprofit Housing, which is a community organization with a elected board of directors. I don't know much else about it though. I think it's probably in tandem with Niagara Regional Housing in some way.
Yeah, they run a bunch of stuff out there, I think.
They do, yeah.
There's other units out there that are run by these things. And what was that?
My phone.
Oh, your phone? No, it's all right. It just cracked the lens.
It's got a mind of its own.
Here, I got it, Davey boy. Don't worry. Gotta have the phone. It's got legs. The city has committed financial support for the project. And myself, other than traffic concerns in that area of McLeod Road, because that's one of my concerns all the time because it's a nightmare down there. I have no concerns. It's really something we badly need in Niagara Falls. We're crying for it. So other than traffic concerns on McLeod Road, which is concerns that everybody has at every build on that section of McLeod Road, which is a nightmare. It should be a good project, and congratulations for building it.
Yeah, one of my problems with it was the environmental issue here because we're in environmentally sensitive areas there.
Yes.
But they've taken a lot of precautions here, it seems to me. And the NPC has been involved, environmental people have been involved. So it looks as if going through the reports, it seems they've covered all the bases. And I'm confident if they do what they say they're going to do, the sensitive environmental area there will be safe.
Check. 8.3, it looks like they've bought 3 adjacent houses on McLeod Road and want to build 42 stacked townhouses on the land. 12 one-bedroom, 22 two-bedroom, and 8 three-bedroom units with 46 parking spaces. And of course, the 1.1 parking spaces per unit when the city's level is 1.4. You know, when we say 1.1 compared to 1.4, right? It doesn't sound significant. What's 0.3? But when you put it over the number of the units they have here, and you do the math, it works out to 15 total parking spaces.
That's not a whole lot.
So it's not a whole lot, but considering
we're the visitors part.
Yeah, most people. Yeah, we're the visitors part, but most people have 2 cars, so it could become a problem. 42 stacked townhouses. You need at least 2 each. That's 80 parking spaces, right? If they're going to take 15 away from whatever they already have, the 1.1, 1.1% of all these houses. Like it ends up being a little bit significant, but they judge it by amenities. In other words, if you're on a bus route, if they have like bicycle racks and other stuff, other forms of transportation, right? If that's nearby the amenities, then they allow it to be lowered. That's what seems to be the question of the day, because at the end of the day, we see it lowered every planning one.
Yeah. I'm not, yeah, I see this being thrown away. This is a bargaining piece that, yeah, we'll give it to you. We'll give it to you. I'm not so sure it's a good idea. Now the previous one, the nonprofit, yeah, you can see you could have limited amount of parking because people in that economic group probably wouldn't have as many cars. So 1 parking space per unit might be reasonable there. And anyone who has a parking space that they're not using can rent it to someone who needs another one, something like that. But here, you're asking for trouble in the long run. When you only have 1.4, you're going to get people parking on the streets. You're going to get people blocking people's driveways. There's going to be people trying to find places in there. So, yeah, you got to be reasonable here. This is not a low. This is really one of those, not-for-profit types. So you're going to have to give them. I would say City Hall has to really go at least 1.25. 5 spots for every 4.
Yeah, 1.4 would equal to about 58 parking spaces, right?
Yeah.
42 plus 0.4 on 4 is 16.
Yeah.
So that'd be like 58. They're going to have like 43.
Yeah, that would be okay. Yeah,
something like that, right? So
you have to have, really, seriously, this is a place where you're going to have to have visitor parking. You're going to have people coming over. I don't know. You're just asking for trouble if you do not think ahead of time.
Yeah, that's it. Other than that, 2 concerns that people had were balconies in the back. They didn't want the balconies up high looking over their place, and more landscaping in the front. The renditions of the property actually look very nice, and the recommendation from staff is approval. And this is what's going on McLeod Road now. A lot of high density builds are going on McLeod Road. We saw one across from the fire hall that just went up brand new. We're seeing them down McLeod Road to the west, and we're seeing them to the east in these old houses as they get torn down and properties get filled in. So it's the flavor of McLeod Road at this point in time.
Yes, and don't expect McLeod Road to get any better as far as traffic goes, because these are going up all over the place, and city parking doesn't seem to be stepping in here and saying, traffic. City traffic doesn't seem to come in and say, oh, well, it's too much. at all. I'm really hesitant to believe them that they're really, being told not to kind of look the other way because we do need the high density housing. And we'll worry about the traffic later. It's going to be a nightmare traffic wise, I'm afraid, and because it's bad now, and they're asking for all these new builds on McLeod Road.
Well, the good thing is the region's supposed to be redoing McLeod Road. They're replanning it. They're going to redo it. They're going to widen it out by St. Mike's High School to the west, and they're going to do something with that area. And once they do that, it should alleviate the traffic. But
No.
I think what they got to do is they need a diamond exchange like they put on Glendale and St. Catharines, because you've got all those lights there where the traffic's coming on from the QEW, and that's one of the major arteries to the casino now, Stanley Avenue and the casino. So this is where the problem comes in. You got a lot of shopping plazas, the Walmarts out there, the Niagara Squares out there, all the new expansions there. You've got a lot of building, a lot of apartment units, a lot of senior residents, and so they're all causing a huge problem with traffic there. And they got to come up with strategic ways to alleviate the traffic. And if they can just deal with the traffic coming off the highway, because that's how everybody gets out that way to get to the stores. Plus, you got the local traffic, plus the apartment buildings. And now you got the QEW casino traffic and tourist traffic getting off there. If they can just handle that a little bit better, I think it'll be okay. So we'll see what the region does in the future.
They also have the studio there for Kojiko.
Yes.
And it gets really plugged up there when I do my bingo calling because I have to fight through the paparazzi that just piles into the parking lot there. And it just, I know that just jams up the road with all these paparazzi and their cameras.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get you in through with a helicopter in the back parking lot.
Yeah, I have to disguise myself as a thin guy.
So I think it's going to be approved. I don't see any problem with that. Moving on after 8.3, Davey boy, I don't see any more planning matters. I didn't see anything I really was going to talk about between them. Next point I have is 9.1, but
well, yeah, me too. I think that was what. Well, let me see here. Petition of that. Well, stay on that. Council zoning amendment, density. Yeah, it's all the density stuff, and that's what the what is it? 8.3 and what comes after the issues and things like that. The presentations, I'll tell you that they are pushing towards more density, 50% more density as the province wants.
As the province, that's right, exactly, as the province wants. Okay, 9.1 was interesting to me. I don't know if it was interesting to you or not, but the casino is looking to avoid paying the municipal accommodation tax on comped rooms, which they do a lot. So, the casino, they comp their rooms to high rollers and the big players. They comp a lot of rooms. So they don't think, because they're not taking any money in on those rooms, they should pay the city the $7. I think it went up to $7 for their outfit, something like that. A room, MAT tax, municipal accommodation tax. And the city's going that it's going to be applied whether you're giving the rooms away or not. It's something that's charged on every room that's rented out or given out or used. So casino says it's already contributes a substantial amount of money to the city for hosting the two casinos, like about $20 million a year. It doesn't feel they should contribute more for comped rooms they aren't making money off of, which, I mean, yeah, they're not charging for them, but believe me, the guys who have those rooms for free are paying.
They're not for free. That's one of the city's arguments there. No way are they for free.
Yeah,
right. So, but they do have an argument here. They say, you know what? We fork over a lot of money, and the municipal accommodation tax should not be applied to this our promotions. And it opens a big bag of worms too. Anyway, a big can of worms, because where is that money going for anyway? It seems to me that there is still some doubt of how this money is used, and how it's collected.
The MAT goes to the city.
MAT goes exactly right directly.
That's an actual bylaw. It's not one of these taxes these hotels put on just to rip people off. This is an actual bylaw where it's got to be paid on every room, and the money goes to the city to spend on marketing the city.
Well, it says that it's supposed to do that, but in this, it says that actually the casino is saying it's not. The city's not really doing that with the mat tax. It's using it to pay down its cost of other things.
Oh, well, there you
So
go.
that's one of the arguments the casino brings up.
Now, the Hotel Association is challenging the new mat handed down by council and is awaiting a ruling from the courts. And to me, I don't think that the casino should get off the hook. It's a room tax, regardless of whether they're giving it away or not, or what they're charging as far as dollars and cents. I think it was based on it was $2 a room before. Now they're basing it on I think the star rating is the way they were going to go, and everybody wanted it to be a percentage of the amount they charge or something. So I don't know if they ever came to a conclusion. Doug Burrell from the Hotel Association, he came down and was arguing the point with him in a city council meeting. So we'll see what happens with that. But it's going to be an interesting argument what council says. Should they be charged or not?
I think council will say, "Yeah, give me the loot," because
I
look,
would.
we own the city, and if you don't want your hotel turned into affordable accommodations, you do what I
Yeah.
tell us.
And also, I mean, regardless if they want to give their rooms away for free, that's fine. But we still should get the tax from it. That's the stand that
Yeah,
the
it's
city
an
takes.
accommodation stack. Now, of course, when it comes right down to it, it'll be the law that decides. It'll be the courts that come into play. And I don't know how much the province is going to stick their head in or not, but we'll see.
We'll see what happens. Yeah, because you got to remember the OLG also is involved with the casino, so it is the province, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're going to want to know what's going on.
Okay, item 9.2 is a report on the 2023, believe it or not, budget and variances. We're going to get to that in a minute, but I'm going to get to my second sponsor first, and that is Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue. And speaking of pizza and wings, a few minutes ago, who doesn't love pizza? Who doesn't love wings? And when I get them from Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue because they're consistent. They do a great job on their pizza. They use the Mancini family recipe for their crust. They use it for their sauce. They put it in the right ratios on the pizza with the cheese, and you've got a beautiful pizza with fresh toppings. You can't beat it. And their wings are second to none. I mean, their wings are fantastic. Any way you like them, they have a million different styles that you can have them. They have panzerotti, they have poutine, they have steak and cheese poutine. You name it, they have it on the menu. The menu's like this big. You open it up like this.
Huge.
It's like looking at the 10 Commandments of pizza.
Huge, Niagara, huge.
Yeah, huge buffalo. And you can't beat it. Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue. How do you get a hold of them? 905-374-2222. Or you go to Pete'sPizzaVictoria.ca. You can order online. They use Skip. They use Dine. They use everything. Get your pizza today. You know you want one. Wednesday's $19.99 for a tray with 3 items. Heck of a deal. And on Thursdays, it's $9.69 for a pound of wings. Get 2, because I guarantee you, if you have a pound, you want another one. They're so good. Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue. Don't forget to tell them Paul from Your City, Your Voice sent you. And we thank you for supporting our sponsors because they all support the city.
So, Karen, when you pawn your Seniors of the Year award, it's affordable at Pizza Pizza. You can bring us some wings and pizza here. You'll get enough money from pawning your award.
Yeah. We'll give you a good word online about how nice you are. Too.
Yeah. Well, you can have the biggest part of the screen.
There you go. Yeah. There you go.
Okay. How do you like your pizza?
I like mine well done. I like the Canadian with pepperoni, bacon, and mushrooms. Bacon crumble.
That's good for me too, Karen, and a couple pounds of wings.
There you go. That's what you get for winning awards.
That's it.
Now, this report was 88 pages, and I went through a lot of it, but didn't go through it all. But from the summary, and you can look at it at niagarafalls.ca, go to the council agenda, and you'll see it at item 9.2. The city is finally releasing the 2023 budget and variances. And they're trying to clean up these past budgets and variances they never got around to, I guess, or something. But these 88 pages tell you it all. And an excess, from the summary, you see had an excess of revenue versus expenses, which went into reserve funds. And that begs the question to me at all times, if in 2023 we had an excess of revenue amounting to about $15 million, why did our taxes go up 8%?
Good question. Good question.
Right? And then they went up 4.9% for 2024 and another 4.9% for 2025. Read through the reports, all 88 pages of them, if you dare. And this is not something that's unusual. I looked at 2024 and I noticed there was $10 million extra that they spent that wasn't approved in any of the budgets. So they had 10 million sitting around somewhere, and they always have extra money from the casino revenue. And there's all kinds of revenue, and then the sale of Niagara Regional Broadband. I'll get into more of this stuff tomorrow, but yeah, go through that report. 88 pages. I know there's a lot there, but if you can get through it, check it out. But you'll see what I'm talking about, and you'll be asking yourself, why did they raise our taxes?
Yeah, I think it's a good idea though that they try to clean these things up, and
Yes.
they and Q2, Q3, and Q4 they want reports on the variances. They don't think reporting on Q1 is quarter one, right?
Yeah.
That is any necessary because it's in the first part and it really doesn't amount to much. But they want 3 complete reports on variances every year going forward. And so they can keep an eye on what's going up and what's going down. How much did we spend more or less on any given project? So that's a good thing. Keep on top of it. But yeah, you might have to invite some of the councilors in here, pizza in hand, to explain this, explain where that money's going.
Well, I think that when Jason Burgess got in there, he noticed that these reports weren't there, and he wanted to upgrade all the systems because they're hard to do without the right systems to do them. And we're talking computer systems and that upgrade the programming and software. And I think that's what they're coming up with now. They're getting all this stuff done that wasn't done before. Why it wasn't done, I don't know, but we're getting it now. Sad part is it's really too late to act on it. That's why, like Dave said, they should do it by quarter. Quarter one, where were we? And they're doing that now. Quarter two, quarter three, and it's about reports. And I think their system now can deal with these reports better than the old system.
Yeah, it can't get out of hand, and it doesn't have to be followed up so much, and using city staff to try to sort out what happened before and get that all in line. If you do it like they have here in three definite reporting periods, that way it can't get out of hand. You're right on top of it all the time. And I'm kind of comfortable with Burgess there because he's kind of one of those grumpy smart guys.
Yeah.
You know, like no nonsense, grumpy, get to work, do the job kind of thing. So, you know, even like Bob Gell, I'm kind of comfortable with him in the region too. Like grumpy, no. That's just telling you what it is. Common sense, get it done. This is how much it's going to cost. So I'm kind of comfortable with him doing that, and I'm glad he is. I'm glad he has the staff to do it. I think he's pretty comfortable with the staff to get that done. So yeah, so in a rare tip of the hat to City Council, I say well done.
Item 9.4 is the Community Improvement Plan, which to me, I'm going, really? Yes. I haven't seen any improvements in the community, so what's the reason for this plan? Seems like a job for Doge to investigate. But the new Community Improvement Plan is merging all 5 CIP areas, community improvement areas, into one.
Yes.
They better get going because they really haven't accomplished a lot.
No, they haven't, and they're kind of realigning and looking for new priorities basically, and they are like efficiencies and environment and all that kind of thing. See if I can find it.
Yeah, well, a good example where you're looking for that would be the project behind the Dairy Queen there on Ferry Street. It fits into the Drummondville improvement area, and they give a grant to people who want to upgrade old buildings, bring them up to snuff, and keep them rather than tearing them down, or build something in that area. They give them grants. So there's 5 areas around the city they do that for. And so rather than having all these 5 different areas and committees with all of them trying to figure it out, they're going to put it into one. That's basically what this is all about.
Yeah, it has here, like it has the 5 was downtown CIP, historic Drummondville CIP, citywide Brownsfield CIP, Lundy's Lane CIP, Niagara Economic Gateway CIP. Now the new CIP will now focus on affordable and all attainable housing. Beautiful. Number
Yes.
1. Number 2, environmental sustainability. Beautiful. We had that just in that non-for-profit housing on McLeod Road.
Right.
We did both of those, right? And economic prosperity and generation. You have to have loot to keep the nation going. And intensification. Well, that I don't know exactly what that means. I imagine it means intensifying residences.
Yes. Yes. Rather than single family homes, they want to build units that have multiple family dwellings and increase the density per hectare of land.
That's right.
That's basically what it is. But anyway, Main and Ferry, that they got they should use the community improvement down there because it's a disgrace when you go up to that area. And item 9.5, quarter 1 housing report. Now, you were talking about quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3 for the budget, right? Well, this is great for housing too. Interesting that we issued 97 new building permits for 146 new residential units with a value of $29 million, and 96% of these meet criteria for affordable housing.
That's nice. Are they building any of them?
Well, that's the thing about Niagara Falls. We know how to approve building. We just don't know how to get them to build the buildings. You know how to reserve a car, you just don't know how to rent it out, right? Like in Seinfeld, there's a Seinfeld thing about that. But what does they meet these requirements? 29 million is down from quarter 2 by 17 million. So it was 29 million of and 98% of value, and it's down 17 million from last year.
Nice.
Yeah, well, that's not good though, because we have to meet criteria. Because the province has handed down these things.
That was sarcastic.
Yeah, 8,000 new units by 2031, 1.5 million in Ontario. Our share is 8,000. And if we don't meet certain benchmarks as we move towards this 8,000, then we don't get any money. St. Catharines got 3 or 4 million. We got 0 because St. Catharines is building stuff. We're not. We plan it, we approve it, we just don't build it. And so that's the sticky point with all this. So that 29 million value is down 17 million. That's not good. We want it to be at least, we want to be going up. We want to build more value, not less. So if you read through the report, it's 18 pages. It's beyond the scope of this show, so you'll have to go through it. Item 9.5, quarter 1 housing report. You can go to niagarafalls.ca to the City Council agenda, and you can read it for yourself. Anything else?
Yes, you can. No, nothing more, except that I would say that just about every municipality is having the same hard time getting people to put shovels in the ground and starting things, because you want a lot more housing all of a sudden, and you still have the same amount of contracting firms and plumbers and drywallers and roofers,
masons, all the trades.
All the trades. You just can't invent a tradesman.
Exactly.
Tradesman needs to be learned on the trade. Apprenticeship right through. That takes at least 4 years to become a journeyman, and you can't just instantly find one offshore. Yeah, this is good work, tough work. Now, the good part of it, of course, a lot of the housing now is all done in segments. I was watching old age home being built in just segments, big segments with windows and doors already installed.
Yes.
Just pick up the whole segment and slide it in. Huge building. And so I think speedier housing will be a thing of the future. Even Mark Carney's new small homes, wartime type houses. But anyway, aside from that, I hope we get more housing faster.
Exactly. 9.6, commercial parking report and bylaw amendment, basically to control large over 100 space and small under 100 space. So they meet city requirements and are kept in good operating order. And that's good for tourism and good for the industry. There's 43 commercial parking lots in Niagara Falls. The current licensing fee is $100 for them to operate. These rates are going to be changed to $500 for a small and $1,000 for a large lot. That's a licensing fee every year, which I think is very low considering the amount of money these enterprises generate in 12 months. I mean, they generate a lot of money, these parking spaces, but it is what it is. It's better than what they were charging before, and it's going to generate about $26,000 for the city. That doesn't sound like a lot to me for these guys to operate, but city figured it out. That's what's on there. I think they're leaving a lot of money on the table from these guys. Probably should be charging them 1,000 plus a percent of gross or something like that if they could track it. I don't know how they would do it, but either way, we're gonna get 26 grand more, so that's nice.
Parking lot's a good place to launder money.
Well, it is because it's cash.
Yeah.
Right? They're barring a way to meter everybody going in and out in a day. It's like a barber shop.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, really. Seriously, you just give them the cash. You're nobody's gonna know that you've just got $10,000 for an empty parking lot.
Exactly. And the funny thing is, if it was our parking lots we were leasing out, it'd be very easy to hammer these guys for the simple reason we have numbers over the past how many years. So you take a parking lot like on Ellen Avenue and Center Street, that big parking lot there, we know exactly what that generates every year. So if you lease that out to somebody, you could give them a good monthly, and then you would know what kind of gross you would be looking at because we have the records. But these private parking lots, who knows?
Yeah.
Right?
All you got is their income tax form, and how honest will that be?
Yeah, that Joe just takes $5 bills in and $10 or $20 on weekends, and he doesn't declare anything. Who knows what the heck parks there? We'd have to monitor them to figure it out. But I think it should be more than 1,000 and 500. I mean, you just figure at $10 a space, 100 parking spaces. What's that? $10,000?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
10 times 1,000, or 100 parking spaces times $10 is $1,000.
Yeah.
And they probably turn them over how many times in a day? Maybe 10 times.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Because people come, they stay for a couple hours, see the falls, walk down Cliff Hill, and they leave. People are in and out all the time. They raise the rates when they start getting full. They jack up the rates, so you never know exactly what they're making. But at least we're getting something out of them. That was item 9.4, I believe. Did I say
9.6 was the commercial parking lot?
Okay, 9, and next item I got is 9.9. Anything in between there you want to talk about, Dave?
No, there was this voting methods. I don't see too much interesting in there. The voting methods are pretty much the same as is now, as I could figure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And what do you got next? 9.8?
9.8, 9.9 is anything I got.
Yeah, that's Niagara Falls Animal Care and Control Bylaw. We went over this a little bit last time, didn't we?
I think so.
Yeah.
But it's really, the thing that I found is that you very seldom see staff recommending council not to approve something. But they are recommending that council leave things as they are regarding service dogs. And interesting that they are doing this.
This was brought up when we reviewed the last council meeting. A number of dogs you can have.
Yeah.
And the idea was you could have 4 dogs, but including a service dog. So they're saying no, you should be allowed 4 pet dogs and 1 service dog over on top. I don't know what the huge significance is here, and do not change the definition of a service dog. When we read it last time, I thought it was good. The new definition was good.
Well, they want to change the service animal.
Service animal? Oh, it could be a monkey or an ape or something.
Well, I mean, did you ever watch Miami Vice? Sonny Crockett, he had an alligator as his pet on the boat.
Oh.
Right? When people came up, the alligator was deputized as part of Miami Vice, right, to protect the boat. Yeah, Elvis, the alligator. So I was laughing because I'm thinking about that.
Yeah,
but I don't understand why they want to change the name from service dog to service animal. What other animal would they be
I don't know.
I've never heard of a service cougar. I've been
I
serviced by cougars, maybe.
don't know.
Never.
Do dogs transition or something? Or
I don't know. I don't
transition
I don't
to cats or
understand that
something?
change.
I don't know. No, I don't myself. But I thought it was a cleaner sort of altogether. I remember, I don't have it here in front of me, but I
Yeah.
thought it was a good idea last time to make the changes. But here we find that the city doesn't like that at all.
No.
Staff in consultation with SPCA are of the opinion that waiving of $20 for neutered and $40 for non-neutered newly registered fees, license fees for documented service dogs is
I agree with that.
acceptable. Yeah, so
And service dogs,
Yeah.
you shouldn't have to pay to neuter them.
no,
You know,
no.
and I'm going to have to get rid of my service Crocogator.
Somebody's got to pay for it. That's the thing. So if the city and the SPCA have to do it, that's one thing. And I've also found that I don't know if it gets into this here, but of late people are abandoning pets in a big way because it costs them money to take them back to the Humane Society. So they take the pets back to Humane Society and they're charged $60 for a cat, $100 for a dog, or something like that. I don't know what it is. So they can't afford the animal in the first place, so they end up just dumping it, maybe close to the Humane Society or something like that. So I mean, I think certain allowances with animals in the cities are a big deal now. People don't. There's a whole number of people don't know how to take care of cats and dogs and all that. They think it's a good idea. They want one, and then they find out how much work it is. So I don't know. I don't know if this has anything to do with that at all, but I think we're going to find more and more concentration on animals.
Yeah, I want to watch and see what they say. Other than a dog is a service animal, I guess a cat could be. And possibly. You think about it.
Well, for an autistic kid, let's say an autistic kid, if he's got an animal, that like there are dogs that are specialized in for autistic kids. The kids bond with the animal very well, and they can become reliant on it. So maybe another animal could do the same thing. Maybe a cat or I don't know,
cow,
maybe a goat,
pig, donkey. A donkey.
Yeah,
I like donkeys. Okay, 9.9. We're done with that one now. 10.1 water wastewater budget for 2024, unaudited. A good review if you want to know guinea pigs, hamsters, gerbils, where all the money comes from. Another department for Doge to look at. Check that out. It's 10.1 unaudited water budget for 2024.
Duckbill platypus.
The rates went up. We know that on our 2025 tax bill. So, you can find out why.
Yeah, well, the argument here, of course, is the region, the city, and all them are inheriting old, decrepit stuff, and we're trying to keep the cost of taxes down. We're trying to keep the cost of administrating the city down. But how can you do it when you inherited a bunch of junk,
of crap?
Yes, where the previous city and region governments did not have the foresight to take care of this when they could, they dumped it forward onto us, and we may not be able to avoid higher taxes because of that.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about that more tomorrow on my show. I'll get into this a little bit more. Okay, so 10.1 was the only one I wanted to point out to people to take a look at that report if you're into that. I didn't see anything else after 10.1 I really wanted to talk about till I got to 11.1.
Yes.
You see anything else?
Yes, Azerbaijan Independence Day. We ran into this last year too.
We talked about this.
And I said, what are we doing? So this is a big deal. This is supposed to be a big deal for Niagara Falls. I looked it up. In the census back of 2022 or 21, there were less than 10,000 Azerbaijanis in all of Canada. Less than 10,000. And they want to have a flag raising ceremony here in Niagara Falls. Now, their arch enemies, the Armenians, which we do have quite a few in and around this town, and they are about 10 times as many people in Canada, and they're the arch enemies. So I don't see the Armenians Are the Armenians asking for their flag to be raised as well? Their independence flag? I don't know. This is geopolitics. I don't think they understand. The city's written them a letter. Oh, do you want the mayor to be there when you hoist the flag? Well, Mr. Mayor, how many are Azerbaijanis are in town? You're gonna have 3. They're gonna have to be imported.
And not only that, Azerbaijan is a dictatorship. They have no human rights. They've been accused of human rights violations all the time. This isn't a place that we should be raising a flag to. And you talked about geopolitics, and this is a great example. We yelled and screamed about this last year. It didn't matter to them, and I don't think a lot of council looked up Azerbaijan and actually found out what it's all about before they okayed this flag raising. I swear to God, now here it's back on back again this year.
Yeah, yeah, and they also a kleptocracy because the Azerbaijani ruling families are extremely rich, whereas the average person is not. And when you go into looking at Azerbaijan, you'll find that they'll have the sons and daughters of the wealthy having quite a lot of money and quite a lot of privilege, and yet the average person, is trying to dig out some kind of sustenance, a level of living. And not to mention that they're in with Turkey and fighting Armenia and development of drones. And I don't know.
Yeah.
You have to be careful here, particularly when there are not a whole lot of Azerbaijanis in Canada.
Yeah, I agree. I don't want any flags raised, by the way. That's my standing. It always has been. I don't care if they raise it in front of the city hall or the park across the street. To me, no flags. Don't get involved with raising flags for countries or any cause. Say no to everybody, and then you don't have to worry about explaining it after.
Sure, you raise an Israeli flag. Okay, the next day you're going to raise a Palestinian flag, right?
Yeah.
You raise an Azerbaijani flag. Well, then you're going to have to put up an Armenian flag.
The region learn.
So,
that's right.
Stay away from geopolitics. The 3 flags that should be up there: Canada number 1, Ontario number 2, and Niagara Falls flag number 3.
That's it. No more. Okay, 12.3. It's a report on the corporation of the holding corporation, Niagara Falls Holding Corporation. I'm going to get to that in a minute, but first, my third sponsor, your favorite, Hamel Machine Company. Been in the city since 1948, and Dave can attest to this, that industry depends on machine shops to help them out when things break down. Time is money. They cannot afford to be down for weeks at a time ordering parts from Germany or China or Taiwan or anywhere else. Time is money. They got to get up and running as fast as possible. Who do they turn to?
Hamel Machine.
That's right. They're the guys who fix things, put it back together, mill things, recreate things that break. If they can't fix it, they can re-engineer it. And also they're innovators. What they do is they look at a part and they don't just fix it, they make it better. If they can save the company time and money by adding a little twist to the part that works to save them time and money, they do it. That's what they do for the wine industry, for local industry around here. Big or small, it doesn't matter. And right down to guys like us.
That's right. Creativity. This is the thing that people don't understand with a shop like this. There's a lot of creativity. You think your creativity is arts and music and things like that. But you take a tradesman, a craftsman, come and he sees something, he knows how to fix it, and he knows how to make it better. He creates, he or she, right? And the engineers too. They're very creative. And you have to have that to support your industry in town if you want it to grow. You have to have that creative, reliable metal trades right there.
Right there at your doorstep. Yeah. And they do that. Since 1948, Hamel Machine has been doing that. And they can help us build gates for our backyard. They can fabricate anything, fix your lawnmower, fix your snowblower, whatever you have that breaks, they can usually do it. If it's made of metal, they have 3D printer. So if you have a plastic part you need fabricated, they can do that. They have water jet cutters. I saw one of those working the other day, not at the shop, but in a video. It's amazing the thickness of steel a water jet cutter will cut.
Oh, yeah.
The power of water. Yeah. Anyway, Hamel Machine Shop, 1948, Niagara Falls. They're at your disposal whenever you need anything fixed. Give them a call. They're so friendly. And you can go to their website, hamelmachine.ca, to see the beautiful work they do. You'll be impressed. Support our sponsors. They support the city. And all 3 of my sponsors have supported the Rick Rose street naming event that we're going to have on June 7th.
Kudos to
They
them.
all supported that. They all kicked in a little bit to help us out. And thank you very much to all of my sponsors. They're beautiful people and they really work hard for the city. Support them because they support the city and this show. Okay, so we got the whole Niagara Holding Company, which also owned Niagara Regional Broadband, sold to Cogeco in January of 2024. We were waiting for the statements to see exactly what we got for that, but we never got them.
Is that because Cogeco was sold to Rogers?
Yes. So, no, Cogeco wasn't sold to Rogers that I know of.
Was it?
No. The Niagara Regional Broadband, which we owned, our internet company that we owned, taxpayers, right? Yeah. It was ours. 75% of it was sold to Cogeco. We never knew how much, but all of a sudden, there's 22 million coming from Niagara Holding Company, and that is transferred to the city of Niagara Falls, and we don't know how much it exactly was. We can only estimate that Niagara on the Lake actually got 25% of the money from that sale, and they said they got 15 million. So it makes sense that we got 45 million, and we see 22 million being transferred. So, yeah, it appears that in 2023, Niagara Falls Holding Company carried $109 million worth of debt to 8 creditors, including Meridian, TD, and Scotiabank. So 12.3, read that report. It will blow your mind. We always wondered where that money's gone. I asked about it many, many times and how much we got for it. Well, we got 22 million now. And of course, we see that coming into the coffers of the city of Niagara Falls for us. We own that company. Question is, why are we getting our taxes raised?
Because death and taxes are the thing.
Okay, I've just asked the questions.
Yeah.
I'll give you some more answers tomorrow.
Well, I offered an answer, which I don't believe anyway, but yeah, I don't know why the taxes are going up. When you have a windfall like that, I don't know. But 22 million doesn't go very far nowadays.
And there's another 23 million that I got to find out where it went. I figure we got 45 million then.
45 million?
And they only pushed over 22 million. Where's the money? Show me my money. Okay, after that, 12.3, I don't see anything else that I was interested in. So did you see anything on there?
Not really. Not really. I didn't see much.
Yeah, we have the flag raisings and all the things there. That you can just read through those. Nothing that is really, really...
No, beer and wine sales. Yeah, okay. There's something here with Mike Strange in it. Motion, park pass, Chippewa boat launch, attach request for notice of motion of Councilor Mike Strange. I think he's still in trouble, isn't he?
Yeah, well, yeah. Yeah, Mike, that's the question I've been asking on my show. Are we going to see Mike at the city council meeting tomorrow?
Because I think he should do. I think he should do.
What's your opinion on that?
Well, he maintains his innocence. If he does maintain his innocence, then he should be there, as a testament to his innocence. I don't know if he is or not innocent. I don't know, but he's got a job to do for now, and until the law comes down and says that he's guilty or not guilty, he has to. If the worst happens for him, and then he will have to retire or step down as an honorable thing to do. But if things go his way and he's absolved of it, carries on. But in the meantime, he's got a job to do, and he's being voted in to do a job. And until there's a legal judgment against him or for him, then he continues that job. That's the way I see it.
I agree. What do you think the women? There's 3 women on city council, and we have a lot of upper management women sitting in those meetings. How do you think they feel about it?
I'm not so sure. I would hope that they would feel that the same thing. They may feel uncomfortable, but until the guy is proved guilty, they'll be okay with him. We don't know what kind of relationship he has with those women, all of them. He hasn't been kind to Lori sometimes, but the other 2 women, I don't know. I just don't know what you should do if you remove yourself from a job you're voted into and you claim yourself you're innocent. Then you should continue your job until you're proven otherwise. That's the basis of law. Now, if I would say he has to be careful what he says, what he does, and all those other things. But if he sticks to business, that's fine. But I don't know if he is found guilty, then he's going to have to retire.
You'll have to. Well, that's the funny part. This is a very, very tough one because you have city council on the whole, not anybody in particular, supporting places like Birchway. There it is right up there, Birchway Book Ride, for battered women and shelters for women and violence against women and everything. And they're coming to city council for help, usually some financial help if they can, or just waiving the fees at the Gale Center or something like that. And city council usually does it because, violence against women and violence against children are probably the two biggies of the big. I mean, that's one thing that's in society is just treated bad. I mean, you don't even want to go to prison with those charges. They'll probably give you social justice, right? So, I mean, it's just a tough one, and I'm having a tough one myself with this. It's a tough one to say what you would do until you're sitting in that chair, and you have to make a decision.
Well, the first thing you want to do is prejudge. Oh, he's hit a woman, and right away you get angry. You say, and you start screaming, get out of there. But then you got to kind of cool off and say, did he or didn't he? Nothing's been proved yet.
Exactly.
Right. So until it is proved, right, then you can't denounce a person until it's being very, very clear whether or not he did or did not do.
Yeah, and when you go into a city council meeting, of course, like me personally, I would probably not go because I don't want to have anybody in that council feeling uncomfortable, about me being there. So I might not go myself, but that's a personal judgment.
Yeah,
that's a personal judgment. I mean, that's just like he might have a whole different view of it. Like I never did anything. I'm fine, right?
I would be if I was charged with that and didn't do it. I would still feel very uncomfortable being there because I would know there is a level of doubt around me.
Yeah, with women there and everything else, right?
And
but anyway, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see what happens tomorrow. We'll see what he chooses.
I bet he's going to be there.
I would put money on that he's going to be there tomorrow. Yeah. I think he'll be there. Number 14, that's the last one I have. Notices of motions. There's a lot of motions by councilors. They'll all be approved. But the one that may get some chatter is 15.8. Motion to allow convenience stores to sell booze until 1 a.m. Currently, the cutoff time is 11.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens with that one. Personally, I think they should allow them to sell booze till 1 a.m. What's the difference? 11, 1. It don't matter. But who knows, right? You might have some people in city council say no because I think they're just temperance people.
I think holding off on it at this point just does not make sense. If the corner store can make some money, guy comes home from a shift at 12 o'clock, between 12 and 1. He wants a beer and he hasn't got any, but he stops and gets a couple of beers.
Yeah, so pretty simple.
That's all. Pretty simple. I think they're worried about kids and young people or the homeless or something getting booze, before when a lot of the homeless had to depend on the beer store to be open. There was a limit to how much they could get and when. There is no limit now. So I don't know. But on the other hand, these are stores and they can make money. And people are going to buy that booze anyway. So
yeah. And the staples in the stores are always the vices, right? You know that, right? Gambling, lottery tickets,
smokes,
cigarettes.
Yeah.
And
now booze.
And booze. I mean, they're the three biggies they make their money at. So
and
why
junk
take
food.
it away from them?
And junk food.
Junk food, yeah. Yeah, another vice.
Chocolate bars and chips and stuff like
that. But anyway, I don't have really anything else, Dave. I mean, we've been through all the major stuff here. We've talked about it. I don't know if you have anything else that you have, but I'm done with what I have.
No, I think that's it.
I think we covered it all, the important ones anyway, you want to watch, you want to look for.
Yep. We've covered it everything that I thought was important.
Yep. Okay. Then that's it. We're through it. Hey, we did it in an hour.
Yes, we did.
That's amazing because usually it's tough to get through all this in an hour. But like you said, it's a pretty straightforward agenda. You can watch it tomorrow at 4:00. They're supposed to start. They're going in camera as usual for the top secret stuff. So it probably won't start till around 5. So if you don't look at it at 4:00, right on the money, you won't have to worry about it. You're probably going to be at about 5:00 before they start, and they'll get into the preliminaries, which usually take another hour or so. So probably if you're going to watch it and you want to see the action, probably starting around 6. That probably be when everything starts going with the planning matters and that kind of thing. And just tune in. You can tune in at sometimes at cogeco.ca, their local channel. You can tune in at niagarafalls.ca, the city website, or on YouTube. They have it on YouTube live as well. So you can tune in at any of those three. Tomorrow at, starting at 4, that's when they start. Check it out. Check it out. Keep listening to the show here. You can write down the numbers.
That's
and you
right.
can watch them as they go, or go to the website at niagarafalls.ca, and you can see the whole agenda like Dave has right here. Anyway, Davey, we're out of here.
Okay, just a message to Karen that when you pawn your seniors award
Yeah.
that you're going to get next month, you can bring in the pizza and the wings, and we'll give you the full form here.
There you go. See, Dave's not forgetting about that, Karen. Congratulations for the award.
Yes, congratulations.
For winning that award. For winning that award, you deserve it. Hats off to you.
There's lots of pawn shops, so get the best price.
Anyway, we're out of here. Have a great day. Thank you for tuning into Your City, Your Voice. I'm Paul Calamere. This is Dave Wheeler. City Council Agenda Review today on 4680Q Radio in downtown Niagara Falls. I'll be back tomorrow at noon with Trash Talking Tuesday, and we'll talk about some of the stuff going on in City Council. I'll give you the wrap-up of the meeting, because once in a while, today or tomorrow morning sometime, they might release some more added material in there. And I look through it, and if there's anything added, I'll tell you about it tomorrow. Plus, we'll go through our regular show tomorrow on Trash Talking Tuesday. Have a great day, everybody. God bless you all. We'll see you tomorrow live at noon on 4680Q Radio. Enjoy this day. It's beautiful out there.
Adieu to you.